Welcome to the place where ancient philosophy meets modern frustration. If you've ever felt confused by today's dating world, ghosting, mixed signals, emotional games, you're not alone. But what if the answers weren't in another YouTube tip or dating hack? What if the truth was hidden in the raw, often uncomfortable writings of Arthur Schopenhauer and the timeless clarity of Stoic philosophy? In this deep dive, we'll break down the psychological patterns most men never see, and more importantly, we'll show you how to respond, not react, with unshakable confidence. This isn't about blaming others. This is about understanding yourself. So if you find value in clarity, growth, and real masculine strength, make sure to share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
So, have you ever sent it a text and it just, it feels like it vanished?
Yeah, like into the digital void, right?
Or scroll through dating apps, kind of feeling like you're stuck in this, I don't know, bewildering game.
Endless scrolling.
You're definitely not alone if, modern relationships feel like trying to figure out some ancient riddle.
Totally. So many mixed signals. Frustrating silences.
And that feeling, that sense you're constantly walking on eggshells, it's confusing, leaves a lot of us wondering, what am I missing here?
It really is a universal frustration, isn't it? That whole emotional roller coaster. You're searching for a real connection, but it often feels like wading through mud.
Yeah.
It just highlights, a real gap in how we understand people, especially now when we're so connected online, but maybe more disconnected emotionally.
Well, okay, what if I told you that clarity, and actually a pretty remarkable sense of inner strength, can be found in a really unexpected place?
Oh, where's that? Specifically in the, surprisingly brutal psychological truths from a 19th century philosopher. His ideas were so unflinching, so controversial, people often just dismissed them or even buried them for decades.
Okay, intriguing.
We're talking about Arthur Schopenhauer. And here's where it gets really transformative. You combine his, let's say, stark observations with the timeless wisdom of ancient Stoic principles.
Stoicism.
Right. And you get this incredibly powerful lens, not just to understand the challenges, but to actually master how you respond to them.
That's fascinating, actually. How these, seemingly different philosophies from way back when.
Yeah, different eras.
They come together and offer insights that are just spot on for our modern struggles.
Right.
It's like taking those deep psychological observations, really understanding human nature as it is, not how we wish it were, and pairing that with a framework for practical action, inner resilience, and, real self-mastery. Exactly. So our mission in this deep dive is basically to cut through all that noise, give you a shortcut to getting profound clarity and, unshakable inner strength in your relationships. It's about arming you with wisdom that helps you navigate those tricky emotional landscapes, empowering you to approach dating connections from a place of real, genuine confidence.
And I think it's really crucial we clarify something important right up front.
Okay, yeah, good point.
This exploration, it's absolutely not about hate or disrespect towards anyone, not at all. It's really about gaining a deeper understanding of some, fundamental psychological differences Schopenhauer observed, and then equipping you with practical tools for self-improvement, resilience.
Observation, insight, application.
Great. Practical application.
Absolutely. So, prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Because the insights we're about to unpack, they will challenge conventional thinking. They might just fundamentally change how you see relationships forever.
It's a big claim, but yeah.
We're going to combine Schopenhauer's pretty stark observations on psychological differences. His views on men leaning towards logic versus women engaging more with emotional landscapes and social dynamics, with those timeless Stoic principles of acceptance and self-mastery. So let's dive in.
Okay, let's start with maybe Schopenhauer's most controversial point. His observation that, in his view anyway, women often operate from a fundamentally different psychological framework than men.
Right.
He noticed that while men often lean into logic, direct communication, he believed women tend to navigate more through emotional landscapes and complex social dynamics.
Which, the way he saw it, wasn't really a judgment call, was it?
No, not intended as one.
It was just his recognition that, okay, different approaches exist, like a different internal compass, maybe? Some sources put it like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
And, the Stoics understood a version of this way before Schopenhauer. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, he wrote a lot about accepting reality as it is, not as we wish it would be.
Right. The acceptance piece is huge in Stoicism.
So if you just stop expecting other people to communicate exactly like you do, or, how you think they should, you eliminate a massive source of frustration right there.
Yeah.
So how does that connect to Schopenhauer's view on like social intelligence?
Well, if we connect this, it means when someone doesn't respond to your, perfectly logical argument, you don't necessarily get angry or frustrated, ideally. You just recognize, okay, they might be processing this differently or prioritizing different things in the interaction.
Makes sense.
Schopenhauer also argued that women are often naturally skilled at reading social situations, emotional undercurrents. He believed they can sense neediness, desperation, maybe a lack of confidence from like miles away.
That's fascinating, but it's not about manipulation, right? The sources seem to suggest it's more like a refined survival instinct.
Exactly. Honed over millennia, maybe. To assess who could provide security, stability, it's an observation of a dynamic.
Okay, so what's the Stoic response to that?
Right.
To that, very real observation?
The Stoic response is actually really powerful here. Instead of, say, resenting this ability, you develop what Epictetus called the discipline of desire.
Okay, discipline of desire, what's that mean practically?
It means you focus entirely on what you can control.
Yeah.
That's it. Your own character, your actions, your responses.
Internal stuff.
Precisely. And when you become genuinely not cold, but indifferent to someone's approval or disapproval, something kind of magical happens, which is you actually become more attractive. Precisely because you're not seeking that external validation, you project this profound inner self-sufficiency.
I think I see that. It's like when you're totally lost on a hobby you love, right? You're not thinking about impressing anyone. You're just being authentic, passionate. And that energy, it's kind of magnetic because it comes from inside. Not from needing something outside.
Exactly. Internal fulfillment, not external need. And building on that, Schopenhauer also observed that women often test men. Sometimes, maybe not even consciously.
Okay, testing. Like how?
Well, he suggested things like maybe canceling plans last minute, or responding coldly, or even creating small conflicts just to see how you react.
Okay.
And unfortunately, most men, in his view anyway, fail these tests, like spectacularly.
How so?
By getting defensive or angry or being overly accommodating, trying too hard to smooth things over.
Right, losing composure.
Which raises a really interesting question, actually. Why do modern dating difficulties cause such a loss of composure for so many? When you think about the ancient Stoics, they faced wars, exile, life or death stuff with equanimity.
That's a sobering comparison.
It really highlights how much internal work, maybe we need to do.
So, okay, what does this mean for us today if we're facing these tests?
Well, the Stoic approach transforms these moments. They become opportunities for growth, basically.
Okay.
Right. So she cancels plans. Instead of getting upset, you calmly say, okay, no problem. And then you genuinely make other plans. You move on with your life.
Not dwelling on it.
Exactly. Or if she responds coldly, you don't chase her. You don't demand explanations. You just remain calm, centered. You demonstrate that emotional stability that real confidence produces.
It's not about playing games back.
Definitely not. It's about maintaining your inner peace and demonstrating your value, your worth, regardless of how someone else acts.
Okay. And Schopenhauer also said something about women being drawn to men who seem slightly out of reach.
Yes. And this isn't about being cruel or playing hard to get in a manipulative way.
Right.
He meant it's more about maintaining your own life, your goals, your interests, independent of her presence.
Okay. So having your own purpose.
Exactly. This is a profound insight, really. When you have a genuine purpose beyond just finding a relationship, you naturally become more interesting, more attractive.
How does Stoicism connect there?
The Stoic concept of preferred indifference fits perfectly.
Preferred indifference. Explain that.
Okay, so you can prefer to be in a relationship, that's fine. But you remain emotionally unattached to that specific outcome.
So you can want it, but not need it for your happiness.
Precisely. Your well-being isn't tied to an outcome you don't fully control. And this paradox, it creates incredible freedom.
Freedom how?
You can pursue someone with genuine interest, but maintain complete inner peace if things don't work out. That detachment, it makes you more attractive because, let's face it, desperation repels, confidence attracts.
Okay, let's make that really practical. Like, texting someone you're interested in.
Yeah, perfect example.
The typical approach for a lot of people is crafting the perfect text, right? Timing it just so, then anxiously waiting. Your whole mood hinges on their reply.
We've all been there.
And that neediness, you can almost feel it through the phone, right? It's often unattractive. But the Stoic approach is radically different. How?
You send a message that reflects your genuine thoughts, your feelings. Then you completely forget about it. Mentally move on.
Just let it go.
Let it go. Your inner peace isn't riding on their reply. If they respond positively, great. Enjoy it. If not, you're equally okay. Content.
That emotional independence.
Yeah.
It's attractive because it's so rare.
Incredibly rare. And Schopenhauer noticed, related to this, that women often lose interest when men become too available, too predictable. What do you make of that?
Well, it seems to align with that idea of inner fulfillment again.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not, like you said, about playing hard to get. It's about having a genuinely fulfilling life that doesn't just revolve around seeking female attention.
Right. When you're passionate about your work, your hobbies, your own growth, when your happiness comes from within, you naturally become less available in an emotional sense and, yeah, more interesting.
It's that core Stoic teaching, isn't it? Happiness comes from within, not from external circumstances, not from other people's behavior.
Absolutely. And when you truly internalize that, your entire approach to dating just transforms.
How so?
You stop seeking completion through relationships. You start seeing them as, potentially enjoyable additions to an already fulfilling life.
That's a big shift in perspective. Okay, another potentially controversial info from Schopenhauer.
Go on.
He suggested women often prefer men who demonstrate subtle dominance. Not aggression, not control.
Right, important distinction.
But being decisive, confident, willing to lead when it's appropriate.
Okay, and how does Stoicism fit there?
Well, the Stoic virtue of courage seems relevant. Having the strength to make decisions and, stand by them. I wonder if modern men, sometimes conditioned to avoid conflict, struggle with this.
I think many do, unfortunately. They might seek approval constantly, avoid conflict at all costs, asking permission instead of making decisions, always apologizing.
Try to be nice.
And while it's often well-intentioned, Schopenhauer would argue this behavior frequently backfires. He believed women respect men who respect themselves enough to have boundaries, standards.
Makes sense. Having a backbone.
Exactly. And the Stoic practice of negative visualization can actually be powerful here.
Negative visualization, like imagining bad things happening.
Kind of. Imagine losing the person you're interested in. Like, really visualize it.
Yeah.
At first, yeah, it might cause some anxiety, but with practice, it builds genuine detachment, emotional resilience. You start to realize your happiness isn't actually dependent on any one person's approval or presence.
Okay. Schopenhauer also observed that women are, in his view, naturally more socially aware, more emotionally intelligent, perhaps, than men on average. They can sense incongruence, right, between your words and your emotional state.
Yeah.
If you're saying confident things, but like feeling insecure deep down.
I pick up on it, that mismatch, instantly.
Yeah, which is exactly why those surface level techniques, pickup lines or whatever, they rarely work long term.
Absolutely useless long term. The Stoic solution is, again, radical authenticity, but crucially, combined with emotional self-mastery.
So it's not faking it till you make it.
No. It's working on genuinely becoming that confident, centered person you might be trying to project.
And that takes real work.
Oh, yeah. Honest self-examination, consistent practice, identifying your insecurities, your fears, those limiting beliefs, and then systematically addressing them through, philosophical thinking and practical action.
Like the ancient Stoics did.
Exactly. Seneca, for instance, understood that external success, like wealth or status, could maybe enhance your options.
Sure.
But he warned against deriving your self-worth from those things. In dating, this means, improve yourself, improve your circumstances, but maintain that inner detachment from the outcomes.
This seems especially relevant now, doesn't it, with social media, dating apps?
Hugely relevant. It's created an environment where, as some sources point out, the average woman gets unprecedented access to male attention.
Dozens, maybe hundreds of messages, men seeking her approval.
Right. So in that context, being just another guy chasing her validation, it's almost a guaranteed losing strategy.
So the Stoic approach stands out.
Precisely because it's so rare. When you're genuinely content with yourself, with your life, you don't need her attention to feel complete.
And that emotional independence again.
It's magnetic because it's so unusual. You become the exception in that sea of needy, validation-seeking men.
Okay. Schopenhauer also noted that women, in his view, sometimes create drama or conflict as another form of test.
Yeah, potentially. To test a man's emotional stability, they might bring up past relationships, express doubts, maybe even try to provoke jealousy.
And the typical male response is often
Getting defensive, arguing, trying to logically convince her she's wrong, trying to fix her feelings.
right. But the Stoic response.
Completely different. You remain calm, centered. Regardless of her emotional state, you don't take her moods personally.
Why not?
Because you understand they're often temporary. And maybe not even really about you. It's internal weather sometimes.
That emotional stability, it's attractive because it provides security, strength. That Schopenhauer argued feminine energy naturally seeks.
That was his argument, yes. And let me just address a common misconception here.
Okay.
Some men hear this and think it's an invitation to be cold, distant, emotionally unavailable.
Right. The alpha male stereotype, maybe.
That completely misses the point. Stoicism is about mastering your emotions, not suppressing them or denying them.
So you can still be warm, affectionate.
Absolutely. Emotionally expressive. While maintaining inner peace and detachment from outcomes, the goal is to become like a mountain, solid, unmovable, peaceful, regardless of the storms raging around you.
That's a powerful image.
And when you achieve that state, you naturally become more attractive because you provide that stability, that strength that others often crave.
Okay, another Schopenhauer observation, hypergamy.
Ah, yes. The idea that women are, in his view, naturally attracted to men who appear to be of higher status or value.
But not just money, right?
No, he didn't mean purely financial status. It's more an overall sense of like vital energy, confidence, the perception that you're moving towards something meaningful, maybe even a higher purpose.
And the Stoic practices of self-improvement, virtue development, they tie into this.
Directly address this tendency. When you're genuinely working on becoming the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, ethically, you naturally radiate that energy of growth, potential. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're just committed to excellence for its own sake.
Which is inherently attractive.
Exactly. And this leads to one of Schopenhauer's most, profound insights about relationships.
Which one?
He suggested that romantic love is essentially nature's trick.
A trick to do what?
To ensure reproduction. Those intense feelings we experience, the obsession, the idealization,
Yeah.
he contended they are basically biological mechanisms designed to overcome our rational objections to the very real challenges of long-term partnership and raising children.
Wow. It's bleak. Or just realistic.
Maybe just perspective. Understanding this doesn't have to diminish the beauty of love, it just provides perspective. When you find yourself caught up in romantic obsession, just remembering, okay, these feelings are intense, maybe temporary, maybe biologically driven, it can help you maintain emotional balance.
So you can enjoy the experience without completely losing yourself in it.
Exactly. And the Stoic concept of memento mori,
Remembering death.
remembering death, it applies powerfully here too. Both you and everyone you meet will eventually die.
Lord bid.
But it eliminates that artificial urgency, that desperation that seems to characterize so much modern dating. You can enjoy connections fully right now while also accepting their potentially temporary nature.
That's a truly powerful point. So Schopenhauer's observations, they weren't meant as weapons against anyone.
No, tools. Tools for understanding reality more clearly.
And when you truly grasp how attraction works, maybe based on some of these insights, you can navigate relationships with more wisdom, less frustration.
That's the idea. You stop expecting others to behave in ways that aren't maybe true to their nature. You start appreciating unique strengths, different perspectives.
But the practical application, it requires daily practice, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Every single interaction becomes an opportunity, a chance to demonstrate these Stoic principles.
Okay, like how?
Someone doesn't respond to your message. You practice detachment. Your boundaries get tested. You remain calm, centered. Someone expresses interest. You enjoy it, but without becoming immediately attached to the outcome.
It's a whole philosophical approach to dating.
Exactly. And it creates this positive feedback loop. As you become more genuinely confident, more detached, you become more attractive.
Okay.
As you become more attractive, you often find you have more options. And as you have more options, you naturally become more selective, less needy.
It's an upward spiral.
As long as you maintain that commitment to inner growth, yeah. The ancient Stoics understood, fundamentally, that external circumstances are ultimately beyond our control.
We can influence them.
We can influence them through our actions, absolutely. but we cannot control the final outcomes. And that wisdom, it's revolutionary in dating, where so many people are desperately trying to control how others respond, how others feel.
And when you truly accept that you can't control whether any particular person likes you, incredible freedom emerges.
Yeah.
You can just be completely authentic.
Because you're not trying to manipulate outcomes.
Right. You can say what you genuinely think and feel because you're not attached to their response.
Yeah.
And that authenticity, it's magnetic because it's so damn rare in a world often filled with performance.
So yeah, combining Schopenhauer's often, unflinching insights about human nature and relationships with Stoic philosophy, it truly offers a path to genuine confidence and real inner peace.
You stop looking outside for validation.
Right. You start building that unshakable self-worth from within. You stop trying to control external results and instead focus only on what you can actually influence.
Your own character, your actions, your responses.
That's the sphere of control.
And the transformation this creates, it goes way beyond just dating, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Far beyond. When you're no longer dependent on external validation, you just become more effective everywhere.
Your work improves.
Yeah, because you're not constantly distracted by emotional drama. Your friendships deepen, maybe, because you're not always seeking approval. Your overall life satisfaction, it just increases.
Because happiness is coming from internal sources, not external circumstances.
That's the core of it. That's the ultimate goal, really. Creating a life of genuine fulfillment, inner peace. That naturally attracts others while remaining complete in itself. You become the kind of person others want to be around, not because you need them, but because you choose to share your, abundance with them.
But this journey, it requires patience and consistent practice.
Definitely. Years of conditioning, old habits, they don't just disappear overnight.
No.
But every single day you choose to respond from a place of inner strength rather than, say, neediness or reactivity. You're building that foundation for lasting transformation.
And the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, combined with Schopenhauer's, let's say, direct honesty about human nature, it really does provide a kind of roadmap for this journey.
It truly does. And remember, this isn't about fundamentally changing who you are at your core. It's about becoming more fully yourself, while mastering your emotional responses to whatever life throws at you. When you achieve that balance, relationships become enjoyable adventures rather than sources of constant anxiety and frustration.
And people will notice this change in you, even if they can't quite put their finger on what's different.
They will. They'll be drawn to that newfound confidence, that emotional stability.
But more importantly,
you'll finally be free. Free from that exhausting cycle of seeking validation and approval that keeps so many people trapped in patterns of neediness, desperation.
This wisdom, it offers true freedom.
It does. The freedom to attract the relationships, the experiences you truly desire through authentic confidence and unshakable inner strength.